Today we will have an interview with Jiaming Li about HAZE in China. Can you tell me something about yourself?
Oh yeah, sure. I'm Jiaming Li. I'm a female and I'm 19 years old. My major is computer science. Now I'm sophomore and I study in Boston. I live in China. I live in Beijing with my parents, and I was born in Xi'an, which is another city in the north of China.
Okay. Can you describe the environment of Beijing?
Oh yeah, Beijing has seen so many days without sun or stars for a long time because of the low visibility caused by the heavy haze. But as long as those methods talk about are applying in the succeed way, so haze will not trouble us anymore, for sure.
Okay. Do you think Beijing suffers most from the haze?
Yeah, I guess like when I was in high school and we and our classes are canceled because of the haze, because air polluted is so serious, and we don't need to and we cannot go outside, or if you stay outdoors for a long time and your throat will hurt and you will feel uncomfortable.
Okay. And so, can you tell me what the haze looks like in your expression?
Yeah, it looks like extreme smoke. Like it's very hard for you to recognize a person, even there's only 5 meters between you and that guy.
Okay. Yeah. Since you live in Beijing, do you have the specific view about how badly the haze is to the environment?
Yeah, yes, and it has a big impact on me, I guess. Like when the red alert is issued and it limits the number of cars allowed on the road, and it shut down construction sites, and also no fireworks and no outdoor barbecue, and people they have to wear the masks, and they need to stay indoors, and some people they buy air purifiers inside the dorm to clean the air in the room, and the city has dealt with major pollution before, so there's no one caused, and it's like a perfect storm or smoke.
Okay. So what does haze mean to you?
It means I don't need to go to school.
Yeah.
Because I can get a week holiday, but also it brought much inconvenience, or rather harm to people's health, such as traffic jams and road accident and bad coughs, throat hurts, and some cancers.
Yeah. And what is haze most serious impact on you? Can you describe it in detail?
It means most serious impact. I guess there's no very serious impact on me, because when the haze comes, I just stay indoors. But I think it's bad for the whole country. It bad for the development of the whole country, and also it's bad for society, and everybody should pay attention on it.
Okay. Do you know anyone hurt from the haze, the sick of the haze?
Yeah, there's a famous host, and her name is Chai Jing. Do you know him?
Yeah.
And her daughter has bad throat, and her daughter cannot breathe the air, which is polluted, and so her daughter only can I've seen a movie from her, and in that movie, I'm not sure, but she said her daughter can only go outside the doors like 4 days per year, and that's really shocked me.
Yeah.
So I think her daughter is the only one person that I've seen the most suffer from the haze.
Okay. So I still want to know, is there anyone you know your family or friends suffer from haze, like be sick or?
Yeah, one of my friends, he's not suffer from, but kinda, and he really likes to play soccer. And during the day that our class were canceled, and he still went outside and play soccer with his friends. And also, the haze only happens in winter, so it was really cold outside. And he went out and played soccer, and he got weak because because he did a lot of running or something, and then he got a bad cold. And after that day, he found that he cannot speak because his throat got hurt. So his parents sent him to the hospital, and the doctor said you cannot go outside in the haze day. And then he didn't go to school like 3 weeks or a month. And when he came back to school, and he said, "Oh my God, I will never go outside during the haze day."
Yeah. And since you mentioned the documentary named Under the Dome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you feel like it?
Because that documentary is recorded by the host named HAZE In, and who's dismissed from CCTV. And because China's economic development has come at expense of the environment. So when we enjoy the benefits from the economic development, we still need to pay attention on our environment. And Chai, she's the first person who can stand up and speak to public and the government, and she kind of like forced the government to pay attention and control the environment and solve their problems. So I think he's brave.
Yeah.
She's brave.
Yeah. And do you know in China this documentary is banned?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And can you
It is
give
banned.
me your opinion on this?
Yeah. The truth is, even Chinese record is not true, and population is indeed everywhere in our life. So even if it's banned all the time, but it will still like separate out on the internet, and people still can find the source of that film on the internet. So all in all, it involves a lot of unpublished data from public or from government, because they try to avoid the bad influence from air pollution.
Okay. And can you give me some of your assumptions, like why Chinese government will ban this documentary?
I think because they don't want Chinese people pay more attention on bad things, and they don't want air people are over worried about our air pollution. But actually, they need to tell people's truth so that everybody can focus on what we should do to solve the problems on environment.
Yeah. And the last question, do you think it is very difficult to control haze? Why?
Yeah, I think it's difficult. So if it's not difficult, and China has solved that problems in the past few years, but it's still it's still not be solved. So I think it still will take us like 50 years or 60 years, and also China has a large population, so it's hard to solve that.
Okay, thank you very much for your time and
No
for
problem.
this interview. Okay. Today we will have an interview with Jinyu Li about HAZE in China. And first, can you tell me something about yourself?
Okay, my name is Jin Yuli, and I'm an international student from China. My hometown in China is Suzhou, and I'm also major in journalism.
Okay, so can you describe the environment in Suzhou?
Basically, I think the environment in Suzhou is very good recent years, but sometimes we will still face haze, especially in the winter.
Okay, and can you explain the pollution in Suzhou more specifically?
As I mentioned above, I think it is quite good recent years. However, there are some districts in Suzhou, such as the industrial park, there are manufacturers there. So sometimes the PM 2.5 will be more serious in industrial park than in the center of Suzhou.
Okay, so as you mentioned haze, and can you tell me what the haze looks like in your impression?
From my perspective, I think it looks like fog, but it will make me very uncomfortable when I smelled it, and sometimes, especially my throat will feel there are something stuck in my throat, so it is very uncomfortable.
Okay, so in China, which city do you think suffer most from the haze?
Basically, I think most northern cities all face very serious haze. Especially, I think Beijing and Shijiazhuang they have serious situation of haze.
Okay, and what does haze mean to you?
Um, from my perspective, it is totally a bad thing to me. It will affect my mood. Sometimes when I wake up and I look outside and I just see the gray sky, and it will affect my all-day mood.
Okay, can you explain in detail what haze most serious impact on you?
From my perspective, it not have very much impact on me. But one of my friends, even absent from school and live in hospital for more than 1 week because of the haze.
Okay, so have you ever seen Chai Jing's documentary named Under the Dome?
Yeah, my teacher played it for me.
Okay, so how do you feel like it?
I think it actually because I live in the southern cities, I have never imagined that our country have faced such serious situation of haze. So I think this documentary tell me the truth.
Okay, so do you know in China this documentary is banned?
Yeah.
And can you give me your opinion on this?
Yeah, I think it is ridiculous. It seems that the government is trying to hide the truth, but the government actually didn't do some useful things. They just want to hide the truth. I think it is ridiculous.
Yeah. So can you give me some assumptions like why the government will ban it?
Because I think this situation is very hard to control.
Yeah.
So I think this is the reason for the government to ban this.
So do you think it is very difficult to control the haze?
Yes, I think it is very difficult. You know, in the northern cities of China, the weather there is very cold during the winter, so they need gas fire and central heating boilers to service annually. However, the main cause of PM 2.5 is a coal fire central, and only if the government can think about other ideas instead of using gas fires, the haze can never removed from China.
Okay, so the last question is I know you are a journalism student. Do
Yeah.
you think there is any way to solve this from your professional point of view?
From my perspective, I think we shouldn't hidden the truth. We should tell the people the serious situation of our country now. I will never ban the documentary of Chai Jing's. So I think the key is to tell people the truth.
Okay, thank you very much for today's interview. Bye. Today we will have an interview with Yu Qianqiang about HAZE in China. Okay, can you tell me something about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Yu Qianqiang. I come from Wuxi, Jiangsu. It is a city near Shanghai.
Okay, and can you describe the environment in Wuxi?
Oh, well, in my hometown, Wuxi is a beautiful city, but I can see the gray sky most of the year. And if one day the sky is not so gray, it's blue, maybe some of my friends will take photos and update their Instagram.
Okay, and so is there any pollution in Wuxi?
Of course it is.
Can you explain it more specifically?
Haze is common not only in Wuxi but also in many cities in China. On the way, you can see the polluted air pour out of the cars.
Okay, and can you tell me what the haze look like in your impression?
Actually, we can't see haze with our eyes, but if you see the gray sky or the raised dusk, that is the haze, the effect of the haze in our lives.
Okay, and in China, which cities suffer from the haze most seriously?
In my opinion, it's Beijing, the capital of China. You can remember, you can image like if the Beijing is in the middle,
Yeah.
and some industry cities around Beijing. And when the weather changed and the wind will blow the gas to Beijing, so Beijing is suffer from haze most serious and in most of the years.
Okay, and what does haze mean to you and your family?
Well, haze to my family, my parents is healthy, and but to other people, like one of my friends, she suffers from haze, she suffers from asthma, and if the haze becomes serious, and she will not be able to go to school.
Oh, and what is haze most serious impact on you? Can you describe it in detail?
To me, the haze is just like the gray sky and raised dusk, but in haze days I cannot go out with my friends, so I have to stay inside.
Okay, and have you ever seen Chai Jing's documentary called Under the Dome?
Of course, it's an impressive film, and I see it when I'm in the middle school.
And how do you feel like it? Can you describe what does it talk about?
It talks about the haze in China, and the film tells us that most of us suffers from the haze, and many people are sick because of the haze.
Okay. And do you know in China the documentary is banned? Can you give me your opinion on this?
So I know the film is blocked because I think the film tells the public the truth. So the government, I think, doesn't want us to be worried about it, and the government wants us to believe they could do the best to improve the environment.
Okay. And so the last question: do you think it is very difficult to control the haze? Why?
Actually, I think it is not so difficult. Many developed countries in the world are experienced the treatment after pollution. But in China, we will reduce the pollution during the environment.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.